Angry today. We're going to talk about the National. We're going to talk about media passes for content creators at the National. A little bit of a rant, or maybe a big rant. So let me get this straight. 100,000 plus people will go to the National this year, but they can't spare a couple hundred media passes for content creators in the space that promote the show for free yearly? Huh, interesting. Hello there to all my sports card friends, family, back again another day, another sports card video, less than 60 days from the National. We are all getting fired up, and that's going to be the topic of discussion today. A little bit of a twist on this though, because I haven't seen anyone make a video about this particular topic, but we're going to make it. We're going to make it for you, and you'll understand why in a few minutes. Big thanks to our friends over at COMC.com, running a wicked 25% off Standard, Select, and Elite Summer Special for submittals from May 31st, it's going on now, to June 17th. 25% off all submission service levels. Awesome opportunity to give them a shot if you're a first timer, sending in cards and getting a beautiful discount to do so. So make sure to check out my links down below in the video description as well as in the pinned comments to get your COMC.com journey started. Oh, it's that time of year again, and we're all gearing up to go to the National. Everybody is excited. I know that I am. I'm going to drive in there. It's in Cleveland this year. I've never been to this venue before. I'm going to swing into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio, on that Wednesday leading into going to the show. Now for me, and I think for many others as well, especially if you've been going over the last couple of years, few years, are you going for cards? Yeah, maybe you've got some targets, you've got some different things that you're looking for or you're open to buying. But for the most part, a lot of people, especially on the content creation side, they are going to hang out with their friends, be able to see other content creators as well as viewers that you're just not going to see throughout the year. You're not going to be able to see them. Everyone lives in different parts. Everyone's busy. So the National is kind of a big get together where all of that can happen. And it's amazing for that purpose. And it's also good for me. I meet with businesses there that I'm already working with on the channel, or new businesses that, hey, we're leading up. It's, hey, let's meet at the National. It's a meeting spot. It's a networking thing. I make content around it. A lot of people make content around it. And that's really the crux of what we're going to talk about today, because for the first time ever this year, I've never asked this before, but I was kind of wondering like, hey, look, maybe I should ask for a media pass. I don't know how that really works, to be honest. I've never, like I said, for the National, I've never asked, so I don't know the process. I don't know how it's chosen. I'm not really sure what that is. And we also have new people that own the National now, that are running it, I should say. I don't know about ownership, but some of the things I've heard that they're doing, they're shaking things up in a good way. One of them being that the lifetime dealers that might have 10 tables, they aren't using 5 of them. They sell off 5 to the highest bidder. And so they're basically subletting tables. And this is something that's been going on forever at the National that they have basically put the kibosh on this year. I love it because there's a wait list to get into this show. There's a friggin' wait list. It's not like there's no demand to go and set up at the National. And it just seems kind of cheesy to me that you can just, depending on who you know, weasel your way into a table at the National. So I like the fact that people that have done it kind of in an honest way and are waiting on the waiting list are going to be able to get a table this year, it sounds like. It's going to be interesting kind of how they set this thing up. Now, the second part of this is I did reach out. I didn't hear anything back. I didn't even get a response as far as a media pass goes. So maybe I don't have to pay for tickets. Like, hey, maybe save me a few bucks. And I don't buy the VIP pass. I just buy the daily. So what is it, 25, 30 bucks a day? It saves me, what, 100 bucks, 125 bucks? It's an expensive trip. And you might be thinking, Dustin, you are so entitled. Why do you think that you should get a media pass over other people? And the answer is, I don't think that I should be the only one. I think that content creators as a whole should be able to get media passes to go to this event. Now, maybe they set up a threshold for that. Maybe it's, hey, you need to have X amount of viewers or views or subs or whatever they're going to do. I don't know what that would be. But right now, it seems like the only content creators that get some sort of media pass or whatever are the people that are in with the crew that runs that thing. I don't know. That's what it seems like to me. and they're all on Instagram. I see a lot of the national Instagram type stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, good for them. They were able to obviously get some sort of, I don't know if they're being paid by the national. I don't know what the story is. I'm not asking for sponsorship. I'm not asking for money. I'm literally just asking for a pass so that I don't have to pay to go into a show that I've been promoting all year. My friends and I, hell, we'll be promoting it tonight on our Wednesday Off-Centered show. Me and Neo and Flippin' Steve. Hell, Flippin' Steve has been doing a giveaway, a huge national giveaway where he has sent somebody to the national for 3 years in a row. I think this will be the 4th year that he's doing it. I'm contributing as well. This is all free marketing for the national. Free marketing. Nobody's giving us any, no one's throwing us any bones. We pay our way to go there. Happily, we love the show. But, you know, the one time I reached out this year and I didn't even get a response back. And I think about guys like Mike O, Big Scott. These are content creators that go every year. They've been going for years and years. Pre-pandemic, they've been going to the show. And they're just a couple of examples. And they're saving up money. I was watching a live stream on Big Scott's channel where he's talking about he saves up each paycheck or whatever, he puts away some money for the national for spending money. Big Scott and Mike O should not be paying for their entry fee. That doesn't make any sense. Again, there's groups of people that are going there to see friends. They're not necessarily going there to spend $1 zillion on cards. Again, I'm going to go back to this because the main crux for me to go to the national, it's not to go spend $1 zillion at the card museum, where again, in years past, a lot of it's just a long timer setting up the museum of cards, which is fine. Some of that is cool. But man, just thinking of the potential of a national where everybody wants to be there to transact business. I would say at least a third of the booths there are either just set up, to show off the museum, or it's just all overpriced, very, very overpriced. And you could say, well, Dustin, that's like every card show. That's how it works. But the national is something you're traveling in for. You're spending a lot of money to get there. It's supposed to be kind of the card show. As much as I like the museum stuff, you already get the museum stuff from the vendors. When I go to Robert Edward Auction's booth, I see museum stuff. I see unbelievable stuff. Pristine. If I go to Heritage, if I go to any of these, all of them are there. I can just go to the corporate section and see the museum. I don't need to go to the vendor space where people are supposed to be trying to sell cards to see their museum. What would you think if I came up with, here's my collection, I just set up my museum at my table, and I subletted that out. I got a nice little deal on a national booth because I'm friends with blah, 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 so-and-so, and I set up my museum to sit here and show you. You'd be like, oh, cool cards, dude. How much is that one? Oh, it's $400 million. Okay, well, we'll move on to the, do you understand the point? It's just stupid. So not just me, but just content creators set up a threshold to where people can actually get a media pass that are sitting here promoting this show year round. As soon as the thing ends, we're making content about it. We're talking about the next one because we're all excited about it. Well, here's the thing that's changed. Now Fanatics does shows. Now Fanatics is doing a show 2 weeks after this event. They're going to actually do 3. They're going to do Manhattan, they're going to do New York City, then they're going to go to Pittsburgh, and then they're going to go into Orlando. You might say, yeah, but these are more like sports shows. This is not going to be like a card show. Well, I'm probably going to go to the Fanatics show in Orlando in November, and there's supposed to be 900 tables at that show. That's a card show to me. That is a card show, a large card show. So I wouldn't assume that Fanatics is just going to just do these kind of shows that are just sports shows. I think they're going to have a national size card show every year, maybe multiple times a year, maybe 2 or 3 times a year. And we're all going to have to make decisions as to, okay, which show are we going to go to go see all of our buddies at? Maybe it's a national, maybe it's not. Maybe it's one of these new Fanatic shows because, oh my God, they're bringing in this athlete or that athlete. This experience they're going to set up for collectors/sports people. My point is the national, I think they've gotten fat over the last few years. They're used to this post-pandemic kind of, it's Anaheim 1990 and everyone's going to come no matter what. Well, guess what? It could very well look like 2014 national. I think it was Sports Card Radio that showed a video of them at the 2014 national. And it didn't look anything like today's nationals. It was dead. So, I think that there needs to be a little bit more, thought put into this. Maybe it's not for everybody that says, hey, I've got an IG account, I've got a YouTube, have some thresholds in place, but it needs to be more defined. Because look, it might not always be this way where everybody goes to the national. It might not be this way where everyone is this into cards. It might not be this way where it's just so easy that there's a huge long wait list for exhibitors at the National. There might be a day where there's no wait list. There might be a day where you don't need a venue that big, where you just go with a smaller venue because there's not demand for it. There might be a day. So why not try to take better care of the people that for free market this show and show up and spend their money and travel for it by giving these folks a media badge? And again, I'm not just talking about myself. I'm talking about a lot of people in this hobby. I could think of probably a couple hundred content creators that I know don't get a media badge or get any sort of perks. They just spend their money and show up and are thankful. Well, we all know that the only constant is change. So we'll have to see how this goes. But friends, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. I'm really trying to fight for the little guy here. I'm trying to just spread the word for those. And look, a lot of these folks do a lot more promotion of the National than I do. The National giveaway that Flipping Steve does, that I promote, and a lot of other content creators promote, we'll be doing all the stuff on our channels for it. But there's also just a lot of folks that promote it, talk about it, what to wear at the National, what to expect at the National. There's a lot of people that put a lot of focus and attention on this card show. So I'm here fighting for all of us. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.